Good Monday morning, wealth creation investors and traders. Matt Buckley, the chief investment strategist here at WCI, and we're kind of getting into the fourth quarter of first quarter earnings. Game's winding down here, and taking a look at the scoreboard doesn't really give you a good picture, right? 75% of companies beat on estimates, 20% were in line, and only 5% missed. Well, folks, you really got to dig a little deeper. First quarter earnings sucked. The top and the bottom lines of companies have never been more disconnected, kind of like the economy and the stock market. Folks, you can only work your employees 160 hours a week. You can only keep them on those IBM ThinkPads from 2004 for so long, and sitting on aluminum filing cabinets from the 1960s. Companies are loath to hire. Last week, Vanguard came out with a report that estimates about a drag of about $270 billion on our economy due to uncertainty. Uncertainty about Obamacare, uncertainty about fiscal regulation, uncertainty about just everything. Fiscal policy, regular policy, business policy coming out of Washington. Companies are sitting on their hands, and they're loath to hire and get us out of this mess. So having said that, we're really starting to get into a light flight schedule. Okay, this week, really not seeing too much on the flight schedule. Earlier Monday morning, we're going to see some news out of Europe from Spain, Italy, and overall Eurozone retail sales and PMI. Not too much out of the U.S. except a loan officer survey, which will give us a little bit of some clarity into mortgage lending and how that's looking. Consumer credit on Tuesday, might be a little bit interesting. Nothing really on Wednesday. Thursday, obviously, weekly unemployment claims. And then on Thursday, nothing huge. The Bernac's going to speak. And obviously, our federal budget balance, yawn. We all know that's an absolute train wreck. So here's what I'm getting at, folks. As we enter the kind of quiet period in May, this is usually when everybody starts looking around going, okay, what time's my, my shuttle leave out to the Hamptons? All right, sell in May and go away. But of course, what have we heard this year? Well, sell in May and make my day, right? Just because, this has happened, this spring swoon, so to speak, has happened for the past 3 years in a row, doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen this year, right? We saw it in 2010, 2011, 2012. Well, guess what? It's most likely not going to happen this year because unlike these 3 spring swoons last time around, they didn't have a bilge pump going 24/7 called the U.S. Fed. Yeah, we had QE1, 2, 3, twist. Now we have QE3 infinity, which means Bernac's going to print until he's blue in the face. I am going to caution you, however, that with us getting out of earnings season and people looking around for stuff to do, I'm going to tell you something that should creep you the hell out right now. Over the weekend, Israel has launched at least 3 airstrikes on Syria. Now, they were allegedly targeting some Fatah 100 Iranian rockets that Syria was moving to the Hezbollah. Israel's like, hey, that ain't going to happen because those things are going to be turned around and launched right into Israel. God bless Israel, throwing the first punch. However, talking to some of my sources still in the Pentagon, they were going after some weapons facilities. Because apparently when the president draws a red line, he's joking. He doesn't mean it's a red line. He means it's kind of sort of a pink line. So the president said if they use chemical weapons, game changer, we're in, here we come, Assad. He's using chemical weapons. We look like fools. Now the Israelis are going to have to step up and do something. With little financial news in the market, folks, I am going to tell you to be very wary of what's going on here. My Top Gun options traders know this, and we are hedged. This 12.5, let me just draw this 12.5 line on the VIX, which, look at this, we're at 1285 on the VIX on the close on Friday. Every time the VIX gets right around 13 to 12.5, what do we see? People freak out. People freak out. People freak out. Oh, we'll grab that one. People freak out. Scramble for protection. Calm down for a day. Freak out again. When vol is cheap, you buy it. Based on Friday's rally of 142 points, almost 17 on the SPOOs, you should have been buying protection. This is the hold your nose rally. Whenever you see the market going up like this, the past couple weeks, past couple months actually, it's very interesting to note as the market goes up, the VIX is going up on some days, which means it's a hold your nose rally. So as people are buying with one hand, they're also buying protection via the VIX with another hand. So don't be surprised. And right around here, we put on a bearish double vertical on volatility, because when vol gets expensive, you sell it. Every time vol recently in the past 3 months has gotten elevated around 17 or 18, that's the ceiling. Anybody see a trend here? 13 to about 17 or 18 has been the range of the VIX. Okay? And volatility, folks, can't stay elevated forever. It's not like you run out and get hurricane protection here in South Florida when you see a tropical depression on the news, and then, wait, the tropical depression's still coming? I'm going to go buy more hurricane insurance. No, you already bought it, right? So volatility tends to revert to its mean. After a spike, it tends to head on back down to hill to its, quote, resting heart rate. And the resting heart rate, in my opinion, is right around the 13 or 12.5 line on the VIX. And I guarantee you, if this Syria thing gets a little uglier, it's going to get uglier for us, because a lot of these spikes in here are in North Korea and a Cyprus freak out. And North Korea didn't fire a shot, and Cyprus was a bail-in. It didn't even need to get bailed out. It was a bail-in, and the VIX still popped, like you read about in VIX Popping Magazine. So be careful of what's going on around the world. And this is why Tuesday morning at 0900 I do a good 2-hour live trading session where I brief a strategic, operational, and tactical mindset, and then put positions in our primary model portfolio and manage them, because we're going to be taking a look at some volatility positions Tuesday morning, and I strongly recommend you attend. You know, this bearish double vertical on volatility up about $1,100 in a couple weeks. Nice hedge on that one. A lot of great stuff going on. Look at this trade right here, folks. We put this trade on 4 weeks ago. It was a synthetic stock position on the Japanese ETF after the Bank of Japan said, hey, if the U.S. Fed can do it, we can do it. $4,500 in profit. $4,500 in profit, 278% gain in 4 weeks on the EWJ. Got great stuff going on in the primary model portfolio. Folks, if you're having, if you're kind of struggling, what the hell am I doing trading this market solo? Don't. Get on board Top Gun Options. Give us a test flight into some of our live trading services. We have a lot of new traders that joined us after our free live trading session last week. But if you couldn't join us, go to Services, and then you can go ahead and go down to Alerts and Live Trade Brief Service. And that's topgunoptions.com/TA for Trade Alert -LTB. For live trade brief. And you can come on board and give us a test flight for the next 2 weeks if you want to trade with me in primary and get trade alerts and also 4 hours of live trading with me. Click right there. If you're a little more savvy with options and you know what you're doing, you can trade with our volatility arbitrage trader in intermediate and advanced, or you can do what most TGO readers have been doing since we got airborne about 3 years ago. They entered the squadron through this door right here and have never looked back. Just take a trial on all the services, and I guarantee you're going to like them. Okay? Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. It's going to be an interesting week. I think the market grinds higher. Last week was decision range for the market. Based on the ECB, based on the Fed, and based on the jobs report, the printing presses are going to continue, and this music's going to keep going until it stops. And I guarantee you when it stops, I'm going to have a chair, and so are the traders at Top Gun Options. Okay? Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back tomorrow with Top Gun Options sit rep over at topgunoptions.com. We'll see you.